Given the luxury of a long rehearsal period, and these guys have been, I mean, they've been making movies for a very long time, so it's a well-oiled machine. I was in safe hands, but Ken was insistent that I had calloused hands, so he put me to work on a farm in Leitrim for a few weeks, just in which time I could embed myself in their way of living, I guess, you know. So it was I had plenty of time to prepare.
It was just such a fun experience. We started, I mean, about 2 months before we actually started shooting, we had dance rehearsals. So we all gathered in a community hall, which is kind of cool to learn the dances from the time. And we had 2 different choreographers, one for like the Irish dancing and one for the jazz. And it was just such a wonderful, life-affirming experience. So, yeah.
You know, so he was a man who tried to build bridges. He tried to make, you know, contact not only with politics and power, but with music and fun. And his secret weapon was the gramophone record.
Oui.
You know, he brought back that music, he brought back the blues, he brought back Paul Robson. You know, so he's a man you would love, you know, and they crushed him, and that's what's interesting.
Je suis tout à fait d'accord.
Jazz was the devil's music, you know, led to all occasions of sin, so it had to be suppressed.
You said it will be your last movie. We heard other rumors that maybe the best solution is to have your word about that. Thank you.
I said that in a moment of maximum pressure when we hadn't shot a foot of film and the mountain in front of us was quite high. And I thought, I can't get through this again. But you come out the other end, you know, and we thought we'd just watch the World Cup and then see what the autumn brings. And maybe a little film, or maybe not. We'll see how it goes. It's a hard job to give up, really.
Question over there.
I think we were very concerned that the priests at the time who spoke against Jimmy Gralton were simply, as far as we can see, were simply very dogmatic, very strong, very fierce, abusing Jimmy, taking part in the anti-jazz campaign, jazz being the devil's music, saying that Jimmy would be damned in hell and so on. And so we wanted the opposition to be more sophisticated than this, and for the priest to recognize the integrity of Jimmy and to recognize the value of him, his worth as an opponent. He doesn't deviate from the church's line, but he recognizes he's a sophisticated man. He knows about the organizers in the States. He knows about. He recognizes his integrity and his passion, and he says at one point, "You're a believer, Jimmy, like me. You're a believer. You believe in different things." I think the situation in Ireland is the same as other European countries now, in that we're all in the grip of the neoliberal agenda, and that the big corporations are taking over, and that the Jimmy's fight now would be against that. It would be for a planned economy based on common ownership. Those were the ideas that he fought for at the time.
I've been saying for the past few days that 1 year in the life of Xavier is worth 5 of the years in my life, and he absorbs so much information and processes it, and all he does is looking, observing what's happening, learning from others, and it's really exciting to work with him. Because we have to be on the alert at all times, but we have a safety net. And sometimes I thought he was a little bit like my father, since I could just sort of let myself go when I was with him, and I felt loved. And I think that's one of the greatest qualities of a director. The directors should be deeply in love with the actors they work with, because then we give much more in return.
Yes, I'm very pleased indeed to be in the official selection. Where do I find this boundless energy? I don't know. It's my passion. It's not a duty for me. It's not like work. I don't feel I need to make a film every year or every 6 months. I don't think it's an absolute requirement. It's just my mode of expression. And I think that a set for actors, for directors of photography, creates a huge adrenaline spurt. It's like a hard drug. You need more of it all the time. And I need a lot. I need to express myself. I find the need to create. The aim is not to make a statement. I don't want to work at a frenetic pace. That's not what really counts. What I try to do is to tell a tale I really want to describe.
If you win the Palme d'Or, do you see that as a national victory of any kind? If so, is it a Quebec victory? Is it a Canadian victory?
Good one. Well played. Should we win anything at all? I mean, I'm from Quebec, and Quebec is in Canada, as a matter of fact. That is one thing we know for sure. Whatever my political views are or standpoints, I feel like my movie is very Québécois, but it would certainly be an international victory. It is not, it wouldn't, for me, it's not, wow. This is very personal. For me, it's not about a country or a province or old dilemmas or wars that my generation don't associate with and relate with anymore, by the way. It would just be an extraordinary message to the people my age and to my generation. I see it as, I guess, hope. And the movie is, I'd love to think it is, filled with hope.
Et voici donc Ken Loach, le réalisateur de Rebecca O'Brien, et bien sûr ses comédiens, Harry Ward, Simon Curry et Aislinn Franciosi.
Ken Loach.
Et nous avons maintenant le plaisir d'accueillir l'équipe de Mommy, le nouveau film de Xavier Dolan, qui fait son entrée dans la compétition officielle ce soir à Cannes. Après avoir présenté au Festival des Amours Imaginaires et Laurence Anyways dans la section Un certain regard. Dan Dorval et de Suzanne Clément.